Eyeballs all forward because we want to see that car. Is it running?
Yeah.
So you need to make a walk in. Oh, there you go. All right. And we
gotta
give you
start it over. You gotta
a
start it over.
All right.
No, you're good.
All right. Hello, class. My name is Caleb Burke, and today I'm going to be speaking to you on engines and my favorite car, which is the Ferrari 458 Italia. So you've gambled this one time, you've played the lottery, and by God's grace, you've won. What do you do with all your money now? Sure, you pay off college and put some in a savings account, but you need a car to show off all that money. So what do you choose? Of course your choice is going to be the Ferrari 458 Italia. Today I'm going to be speaking to you about this gorgeous car, specifically its engine and power outputs, and some other factors about it. So let's get started. So first, for some of you who don't know how an engine works, but still drive a car, we're going to go over engine basics. There are three types of engine setups, which are the inline, the V, and the W. An inline is a setup in which all the pistons are lined up in a row. A V is a setup in which the pistons are in a V shape. And the W is limited to only one car, the Bugatti Veyron, in which it's two V engines bolted together to make a W. Horsepower, what is it? Believe it or not, horsepower actually is the measure of how many horses it would take to produce the same amount of power as an engine. So we're just going to continue. There are four stages of how an engine works. There's intake, in which the engine pulls in air and fuel. Compression, where the piston compresses air and fuel. Combustion, where the spark plug ignites, burning the fuel and forcing the piston back down in the cylinder. And the exhaust, in which a valve opens and the spent fuel is sent out the exhaust pipe. The main components are piston, crankshaft, and camshaft. These all control the movement of the piston and the power output of the engines. So we're now going to look specifically at the Ferrari 458 engine. It's naturally aspirated, which means there's no turbochargers, so it's naturally sucking in air from the motion of the pistons. It's a 4.5-liter V8, so there are 8 pistons in it, and the internal capacity of the engine is 4.5 liters. It produces 562 horsepower, which is quite a lot for a car of its size. It produces 398 foot-pounds of torque, which is the sensation you get when you accelerate really fast. It's the G-force, that's what torque produces. It comes in the 458, the 458 Spider, which is a convertible version. It also comes in the Speciale and the Speciale A. No, it's not misspelled. It's a mid-mounted engine, which means the engine is not in the front of the car like traditional American cars. The engine is actually behind where the driver sits, which gives the car almost a 50-50 weight distribution, which means it weighs the same on the rear wheels as it does the front wheels. All right, and the name of the 458 is 4.5 liters V8 engine, 458. All right, we're going to look at power, torque, the transmission of the car, the weight, and etc. Again, 562 horsepower. For comparison, those of you who like the Prius, this has almost 4 times the power of a Prius, and about 4 times the torque as well. A 7-speed dual-clutch gearbox. Forgive me, but I'm going to make the sound. When a car revs and then shifts, you get the sound brah, brah. That's when you shift. The car itself has a 7-speed dual-clutch gearbox, which means it will do that 7 times. It also has paddle shifters, which means you can remotely control what gear it's in by pulling paddles placed behind the steering wheel. It weighs 3,274 pounds without any liquids in it, so no gasoline, nothing, no driver, and has a power-to-weight ratio of 7:40, which is incredible, which means when you break it down to its simplest form, if the car weighed 40 pounds, it would have 7 horsepower, which is pretty incredible. We're going to look at drivability really quick. It was named Car of the Year in 2014 over all other sports cars. Jeremy Clarkson, who is a host of the British television program Top Gear, which is, of course, the best version of Top Gear. This is the quote that I decided to pull for, and we're actually going to watch a quick clip of him driving the 458. That's not it. It should have taken us directly to... Oh, here we go. So I have the volume. Hold on.
The car in which he keeps a little brush.
1800s was simply awful in every way.
1 moment. Let's try this again. That'll be a volume. There we go.
Yeah, man.
I do. This is terrible.
It's okay.
I'm
I'm
sorry.
not counting this time off. I'll subtract that.
Apologize for the ad and the buffering.
It's Silverado Truck Month, where you could get great
I'm
offers
not-
on Silverado
I'm not doing my
$15
speech on
and
Silverado.
pick it up double for it.
Alright, here we go.
Okay.
So, the 458 then.
Fairly quiet, but
All face and no trousers? Let's find out. Oh my God! This is incredible! Just feels so light. Never used to like flappy paddle gearboxes, but this is just...
now you can see occasionally behind the steering wheel where the paddle shifters are. And on these, the right one is to shift up a gear, and the left one is to shift down a gear.
Because the rear of the car is so planted, thanks to its new suspension system, they've been able to fit super fast steering. Bang, the nose just darts in. What a machine!
Wow.
Alright, and that's where I'm going to cut to that clip. Alright, moving on. Styling, sound, and exclusivity. First, we're going to look at style real quick. It's the sequel to the Ferrari 430, which is this car right here. It has a lot sharper angles and a nose that sits a little bit lower to the ground. It's the predecessor to the brand new Ferrari 488, which just came out of the Geneva Motor Show. And that's the car on the right. To me personally, I prefer the 458 because I feel that the 488 is a little bit more feminine. It has a lot softer curves. Yeah, I believe that it's better than both. It's my personal. We're going to go to sound and exclusivity. It's got a 3 exhaust pipe system. It's pulled from the F1 car that Ferrari built, which is world-class racing. My belief that it is one of the best exhaust sounds in the world. And Ferrari has spent millions, almost $1 billion, tuning their exhaust to minor thirds. And for those of you who are music majors, you understand that a little bit. And we're going to take a second to listen to the exhaust note.
It's Silverado Truck Month. You can get great offers on select Silverado 1500s, the most awarded pickup of trade.
There's nothing more that car guys love than driving through a tunnel, which is one of the best reverb sounds you can get. And that's where we're going to cut that. Okay, let's move on. With a base price of $250,000 for the base model.
That's affordable.
It's an extremely expensive car that not many people can afford. Also, with the Ferrari ownership package, you're only allowed to drive the car 6,000 miles a year, which limits your driving ability. So, in conclusion, cars are not something that everybody loves. It takes a special person, but more importantly, it takes a special car to bring you into this community of people. So, there you have it. The technology and operation of engines, specifically the 458, and my personal thoughts on what is to be considered the most incredible car of 2014 and beyond. An incredible machine from an incredible company. I can only dream that one day I might get the chance to drive one. But until that day, I'll settle for my car. Thank you.
Nice job.
I got a 2006 Mustang.
He is a real horse.
I'm just going to pull it out. Y'all just got learned. Learned? Yeah, learned. So, I know I went over, but just going to have to deal with that.